Shalom from Israel, I'm Maria Ben Abraham. This week we're going to reflect on Psalm 57 by King David. Again, King David asked God for his protection, his compassion. We discussed compassion in the previous commentary, 56. So again, let's start with verse 1. Be merciful to me, be compassionate to me, God, be compassionate to me twice. For my soul takes refuge in you. How do we take refuge in God? In the bosom of this old man with a long beard? No, that's the image. Goodness. My soul takes refuge in you. My goodness comes from your goodness. You created my soul. My soul belongs to you. My soul is an extension of you, God. This is the goodness. So the refuge of the shelter of my goodness is goodness. It's a higher goodness. We know as God. As we said before, David said it many times, thank God because He's good. His loving kindness is eternal. It's the goodness that we're talking about here. Yes, in the shadow of your wings. God is not a bird, but anyway, that's the image. I will take refuge until disaster has passed. So in this case, we're dealing in a negative situation. We want goodness to be with us all the time, protecting us. In other words, goodness as goodness, please don't make me fall into anything wicked. Don't make me fall in wrath, envy, coveting, lust, arrogance. Protect me from negative qualities, negative traits and trends in consciousness until they passed, meaning, okay, I'm going to have them temporarily, then they're going to go past. The idea is to eliminate them all the time. So, our focus always is positive traits, qualities, and trends in consciousness. Then they will pass. The opposite wouldn't be there. So while we are under the wings, under the refuge of God, meaning God's ways and attributes, His ways, His commandments, His will, everything is fine. Then we will realize that goodness is the cause of goodness, and goodness is the effect of goodness. Verse 2, I cried out to God Most High, to the highest, elevated, Most High God, to God who accomplishes my requests for me. And again, when we're with goodness, goodness is provided. Goodness is the effect. This is what it is. This is how God accomplishes our desires. When we want His essence in us, the goodness that we have been talking about. He will send from heaven and redeem me and save me. He rebukes the one who is pursuing me. And again, we're talking about the opposite. What our enemies, the enemy that we have been mentioned since Psalm 55, 56. Forever. God will send out His loving kindness and His truth. That is God's loving kindness and truth. We know that already. We discussed many times that the 13 attributes of compassion: graceful, compassionate, slow to anger, abundant in loving kindness and truth, among others. So we're talking about God's qualities, God's traits, attributes, and we have to relate to them as our connection or common bond with God. It's not just to emulate them. It's not going to do this because God is like that. It's in us also. We're His creation, His children. Then we have to exercise and express and manifest loving kindness and truth as ethical frameworks of goodness. In other words, when talking about goodness, we're talking about, hey, this is a loving kindness that has a truth, that has a way to be experienced. We discussed that in previous. The moral implications of goodness. My soul is among lions, like enemies, like really, really enemies, lions. I lie among those who are set on fire. Fire usually is related to anger, violence. Even the sons of men whose teeth are spears and arrows, and their tongue a sharp sword. Talking about people who live with, by, and for negative traits and trends in consciousness. The opposite that we want to have, to be, and to manifest. Verse 5, be exalted, God, above the heavens. Let your glory be above all the earth. Now we're talking about glory. The glory of God. What is the glory of God again? What makes God's glory? Loving kindness and truth, grace, slow to anger, those qualities that characterize God's glory, majesty, light. Excuse me. So, maybe be above all the, but when I say above all the areas, like make the material world, the material reality be full of it. It's on it. Like the air. The air is on the planet. It's there all the time. It's on it. Same thing. 6. They have prepared a net for my steps. Enemies, these negative traits and trends in consciousness. My soul is bowed down. It's like we are on the pressure, basically. They dig a pit before me. They want me to die. And again, this death that we were saying before, we're not talking about a material death here. We're talking about dying by being alive. And dying by being alive is by being under the control of negative addictions, obsessions, attachments, threats, and trends in consciousness. They dig a pit, a grave before me. They fall into its most themselves, Selah, forever. So David is asking God, help me, protect me against anything different than your ways and attributes that are my essence and identity and true identity. My heart is steadfast, God. My heart is steadfast. I will sing, yes. I will sing praises. David is telling God, say, I've been on the siege by envy, lust, jealousy, coveting, wrath, haughtiness, arrogance. But I know that my essence is good. I know. My heart is steadfast. My goodness is strong. I just need your help, God. In order to make my strength powerful enough to defeat anything that goes against what is good in me, against my compassion, against my loving kindness, against my truth, which is God's truth also. Verse 8, wake up my glory, my honor in this case. Wake up, psaltery and harp. It's like my honor is to praise you. By praising is by acknowledging. By acknowledging is by being. In other words, we said that many times in our blog and in these videos. We pray Alleluia, 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 right? It's good, yeah, we have to sing and be happy. But the idea is that when we praise God, and David is teaching this to us, when we praise God, that means that we do His ways and attributes. That's the way we praise Him, by the way. It's nice to sing Him, yes, but the singing is not enough. The singing is just expression that we are honoring Him. My glory, my honor. God's honor. So we honor God, we honor ourselves by being, having, and manifesting goodness in every facet, aspect, and dimension of life. Wake up, psaltery and harp, praise and harp, and music. I will wake up the dawn, the music, the sunrise. It's like I am the one who precedes the light coming. It's like I am the cause of the light that is coming. That's what it means. I will wake up the dawn. I'm before it. I'm the herald of the light that is rising up. And how we do that? By doing, being, and manifesting goodness. Verse 9, I will give thanks to you, Lord, among the peoples. I will sing praises to you among the nations. And we have said that peoples and nations represents the lower aspects of consciousness. So we have instincts, passions, meaning the intensity with which we do things, feelings, emotions. We need them to elevate. We have to elevate them through goodness for the sake of goodness. Those are the nations, the peoples. That's the mission of Israel. Israel represents the highest level of consciousness, the highest level of awareness of our connection with God. And we have to elevate the rest of the lower levels. Those are the peoples, the multitudes, and the nations for that purpose. So, Israel leads the nations. Goodness leads the lower levels of consciousness. Verse 10, for your great loving kindness reaches the heavens. Meaning is everywhere. For your truth up to the skies. That's God's will. That's God's goodness. It's going up and down. It's everywhere. It's like in the air. You have to be aware of that. And praise it as the truth by which we live every day. Verse 11 and last, be exalted, God above heavens. Let your glory, your honor, your majesty to be all over the earth. That's it. So in other words, let's make goodness prevail everywhere, in the highest heavens, here in the earth. Make that goodness cover the earth, like every aspect and facet of life. And this is the way where we honor God. By make His goodness from which we came, from which all existence came, prevail forever and ever. That's our destiny, that's our essence, that's our purpose, that's our mission. That's our reason to be in this world. By being and expressing His ways and attributes from which we came from. And where we are destined to be. Okay, so with this we finish our reflections on Psalm 57 by King David, wishing you as always an abundantly blessed week. And until next time.